All right, guys, these are the video directions for responding to the claim. Why is Australia's skin cancer rate so high? Okay, so we went over in class these three claims that we have, and we are going to evaluate claim one today. So, this claim one that I've highlighted, Australia gets a lot of sunlight. So, think about what we have learned about light and the evidence we have that Australia gets a lot of light. Here is a world map that shows the amount of sunlight at different areas on the globe. Then answer the following questions. So we can see um, the darker color means the total hours of bright sunlight per year. So if it's real dark, like this like reddish color, then they have the most sunlight hours. And then the real light color, they have the least sunlight hours. So if I'm looking at my map, like the darkest places is the top of Africa and a little bit into Eurasia. The lightest places look like right up here in the tundra, right over here like in Alaska, Antarctica, some places along South America. So we could see that. All right, so here's what we're going to do on questions 1 through 3. It says delete the wrong options. So notice in these questions you have higher, lower, and the same. So we're going to delete out the wrong one. So if claim 1 is accurate, would you expect Brazil's skin cancer rate to be higher, lower than or the same as Australia? So Brazil, in case you don't know, is right over here. This is part of South America. So look at that color. It looks like an orangish color, like a light to medium orange. And then look at Australia. Look at that color. So is that the same color, or is it darker, or is it lighter? So if it's the same color, then we'd expect the same amount of skin cancer, right? If claim 1 is true. If Brazil is lighter color, then we'd expect it to have lower skin cancer. And if it is a darker color, then we'd expect it to have a higher. So that's how you use this little chart. If claim 1 is accurate, what would you expect Egypt's skin cancer rate to be, higher, lower, or the same as Australia's skin cancer rate? Okay, and so if you don't know, Egypt is up over here in this region. So I do notice that Egypt is a different color than Australia. So remember our key, that darker has more sunlight. So if claim 1 is accurate, and claim 1 was that Australia gets a lot of sunlight, would you expect Egypt's skin cancer to be higher, lower, or the same? So according to this, what would you expect Egypt to be? And Egypt is right here. Okay, delete out the answers that you think are wrong. Then in claim for number 3, claim 1 is accurate. Would you expect Japan? So Japan is over in this region right here. This like island chain over here. This is Japan, right? So I do notice it's a different color than Australia. And so would you expect Japan's skin cancer rate to be higher, lower, or the same as Australia? Okay. Then for number 4, we're going to type an answer here. So you can pick any of the comparisons for 1, 2, or 3, any of them that you can talk about, and record your thinking. So you're going to explain why you think they would have the same or different cancer rates. And you do need to have these 3 vocabulary words in your answer. So that is why I went ahead and linked in here, if you want, our vocabulary list from Amplify, but you should be explaining these 3 terms in your answer. All right, so part 2, we're going to look at these 2 maps together. So this, again, is the sunlight map that we were just looking at. We know the darker areas, like the top of Africa, gets the most sunlight. The lighter areas, like Alaska, even like Japan gets pretty light down here, those have less sunlight. Okay, then we have our cancer map. We've already said that Australia gets the most skin cancer. So what does the skin cancer map tell you about how the skin cancer rate in Australia and Brazil differ? So back here, We should have noticed that Brazil has the same color as Australia. So they actually get the same amount of sunlight, but do they have the same amount of cancer? What does this tell us? Okay. And then for 6, what ideas do you have about how two places could have the same amount of sunlight but different skin cancer rates? I'm just looking for ideas that you have so far as we're trying to figure out why Australia has so much skin cancer. So lots of different answers you can put for number 6 and get it correct.